Hello everyone, and welcome to whatever this video is going to become. My name is Rena, and today you're watching me clean my room for the third day in a row. Yay! So I will apologize if you hear traffic anytime while I'm speaking. I'm doing this voiceover in my car because I accidentally showed up to my physical therapy appointment an entire hour early at 8:20 in the morning, and now here I am filming this voiceover instead. Yay! The reason that we're doing a voiceover for today's video instead of the me talking to the camera the past 2 days is mainly because I just felt really terrible. I slept terribly the night before this video, and it reflected in the fact that I've tried to film this video twice that day and it did not work out. You can kind of see where I made progress. At the top of my closet I organized all my bags, and then also I organized my desk and the art supply bin next to it. But I couldn't do it. I could not record. So I was like, it's fine. I'll just film myself dusting my bookshelves and doing a voiceover. So the video should speed up a little bit more in a hot second. Oh, look, the glass mosaic thing I made in middle school and I can't let go of. It's cool though. So I'm actually glad I have that. But the video should speed up here in a second. I'm not great with editing. And two, we do get closer. I do put the camera eventually in a place where you can actually see what's going on. I know, what a concept. But it just took me a shelf and a half to realize, maybe the camera cannot see that well. So, like I said, I wasn't necessarily feeling great during this video, not only because of the lack of sleep, but also because this was day 3 of me cleaning. And if you've watched the past 2 videos, you'll know that I have a really hard time letting things go, and it just kind of emotionally drains me. And the day before, if you watched yesterday's video, it was basically me getting rid of a bunch of books that I have not read in a long time, literally since high school and middle school. But I even though I know they're going to a good place, i.e. my old high school where my old English teacher, he does silent reading every day. I know these books are going to a good home where they're going to get used and find their people, but I was having such a hard time. I went through my bags and I could not let go of more than one bag, which is crazy because that entire bottom shelf of my closet above my hanging clothes is all bags that you can see. And then same thing with my art supply bin. My friend Jillian, haha, Cynthia, I hear you laughing in the background. But she came over for the Stray Kids concert and I gave her a bunch of art supplies. Even when I was giving her art supplies, even though I know she does art and they were going to a good home where someone would use them, I got to a point where after I told her, I'm yeah, pick out a ton of stuff. I got to a point where she started picking out stuff and I was actually no, you can't have that, which is so dumb. How long is it going to take me to get through all my art supplies, which I have not shown you how much art supplies I have. So I think I'm about to realize that I need to move the camera. Question mark? Okay, anyway, I guess this would also be a great opportunity to explain to you how my bookshelf works. So this top bookshelf is ongoing series that I'm working on. The one below it is my favorites, so that only gets a book if it was not only a 5-star but top tier, would read again at least 500 times. Also, I guess books don't have to be a 5-star to go on that second shelf. Oh look, I learned basic camera skills and moved the camera. Yay! Anyway, yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. Anyway, my trinkets. I have so many trinkets, guys. In the corner, I got a pom-pom pudding, acrylic one. I have one of my Amy's, which is a lemonade one. I have a crock from McDonald's when I still went to McDonald's. I have little figures I made. The Starbucks mugs are currently holding the extra paper slips that need to go in the... Oh, okay, we're moving on. Very cool. Yes, this is my favorite shelf. I remembered what I was talking about. Currently, you'll see the empty box for the Hunger Games, and that's because I'm rereading the trilogy right now to read, oh my god, what's it called? Sunrise on the Reaping, and I haven't read of Songbirds and Snakes, and I know that one goes technically before Sunrise on the Reaping, so I will read that. If you're not familiar with the Hunger Games, basically, the Hunger Games is a trilogy, and the author released a prequel. One of them is called Of Songbirds and Snakes. I didn't just say it, and I'm already forgetting, and that is President Snow's book, I believe. And then Sunrise on the Reaping is Haymitch, and Haymitch is one of my favorite characters, and all I've seen from the reviews is that it's brutal. So I'm mentally preparing myself for that. But, oh look, dusting. Yay, I'm dusting. And then I'm rearranging things. I ended up, these are my 3 always on the shelf books. It's On Writing by Stephen King, the Hunger Games trilogy, and then The Count of Monte Cristo. And the rest of these books are all, it's a preview to my favorites that you'll see later in the year, probably at the end of the year. But let's be so honest, we're probably going to see that video in January, because that's just how my posting schedule works. This shelf is also home to the teapot, which is basically like my TBR jar, and then all my extra like cups and mugs I don't know where to put other places. Those teacups are actually my grandpa's. He is dead. I laugh. He died a long time ago. It's fine. I used to live on my own, so I had a lot of mugs and stuff, but now I'm back at my parents' house, so I have like 2 mugs in the kitchen, and everything else I keep on my bookshelf. Ooh, these are strawberry shortcake figurines that are actually my mom's from the 90s, and I believe she got them in like McDonald's toy boxes. So that's really cool. They still smell like strawberry shortcake. They kind of smell like a candle, but like without the scent, but it's fine. A lot of the strawberry shortcake figurines don't stand very well, which is why you saw me throwing them in those teacups, because I access this shelf a lot and like they fall over all the time. Much like you see this Anya figurine falling over all the time. I love collecting Spy Family stuff. My favorite character to collect for Spy Family is Bond, but I also love Anya. But honestly, the Anya figurines, her head is just so big, which is why she went in teacup jail, because she just like falls over. I have a couple other random things on this shelf, like that sugar cube from France, and then my little pearl Emmas. So I am saying goodbye to this Stitch figurine because I got it in a blind box like 2 months ago, and if you didn't catch it right away, don't worry, because I didn't either, but it's missing an ear. Like, it came out of the blind box missing an entire ear, and I was trying to justify having it because I got it so recently, but I was like, no, it's literally broken. It came broken. I need to get rid of it, which is a little bit frustrating because, like, it's a blind box, and as you know, like, if you get blind boxes often, there's no returns on that, which makes sense, right? Because, like, if you don't get the style you want, like, it makes sense to not be able to return it, but, like, mine literally came broken, and I can't return it. That's so frustrating. So this is, like, by far the most chaotic shelf on this main bookcase. When we get to the half one next to it, the K-pop album shelves are a mess, but that's fine. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, and we're not there right now, so it's fine. But I love the 2-step organizers for the manga. I got mine at Daiso. They were literally like $1.50 each, and it makes it much easier to see what I have and to allow more things to be on the shelf. But there's still a lot of things on this shelf. And a little bit like I explained with that top shelf, this is one of those shelves that's like active series is only things that I'm collecting, other than a few of the comics that I'm trying to hold right now. And the problem, if you are also someone who reads manga, is, you know, like there's a bajillion, there's a bajillion volumes. And most of the series that I have are not over yet and are active, so it's going to be a while until I remove them off the shelf. And a lot of these I do reread just because manga is a good, like, break for my brain between, I like fantasy, but, like, sometimes you just need a break and you need some pictures and some words and some things you've seen before. But, yeah. Much like I love the 2-step organizer, I also kind of hate them because getting stuff from the back of them is really annoying. So, like, you'll see I put my 4 volumes of A Sign of Affection and then Witch Hat Atelier in front of it. So that means, like, every single time I need to get A Sign of Affection volume in or out, I have to move all the Witch Hat Atelier, or, like, most of the Witch Hat Atelier volumes in the front. Starting with the Red Hair got its own thing with a little bit of Sasuke, Miyano, and then that third one is just a mess. It's kind of like all my light novels, and there's, like, Spy Family in there somewhere, and then Noragami, and then Heaven Official's Blessing, and a mess. But they're much more together and organized. I like to have them technically by, like, alphabetically organized, but there was just no way. The Kondasha comics books are just so much longer and stick out so much more than all the other volumes of manga I have. So I had to put them together, even though A Sign of Affection and Witch Hat Atelier should technically be the first thing in alphabetical order and the last thing, and it was driving me crazy. I put back my Spy Family figurines and then my No Faces. And then, much like Anya, I have a Becky keychain, and she has a big head, and she just falls over all the time. This is also, by far, the worst angle ever, and I need you, Zarina, please move the camera, because why is, like, half the bookshelf cut off in the corner? So, I need to go into my PT appointment now, but, yeah, I will do the rest of this voiceover later. Cool. Bye! Hello, it is me from much later, and it is actually, in fact, multiple days later, because I got home from my PT appointment, and my aunt, who's from, like, not in the area, was here with my cousin, so I spent the weekend with her and my cousin at my grandma's house, who also lives an hour away from me, and I drove to my grandma's house, and yeah, anyway, so if you've seen my channel, you know that this shelf is usually hidden by a poster, and that's because the books that are mainly on this shelf are authors I don't support anymore, and try not to give, like, free promotion to. If you're looking at the screen right now and you're like, Zarina, those are two very popular authors. And I'm like, I know, but I am showing them right now because I don't think I've ever said it on my channel, and I'd like to make that clear that I don't really support them. And for those of you who are wondering why they're still on the shelf, it's because they are, like, incomplete series in my brain, and even though I would love to move them, I have this thing about things being in order, and, like, because where they fall in the alphabet, they have to be here. Maybe if they had, like, they were written by authors with, like, Z's in their name, I could, like, take it off the shelf and just be like, oh, I'm still finishing it, but it doesn't fit on the shelf, so, like, I can just put it over here, but, like, my brain, I don't know why, it's very, very, like that, it has to go there. So I put them all back, and the poster is going back after the next shelf. You just can't see the shelf below it very well if I put the poster back, but there's some trinkets on here, too. And, yeah, I am looking to finish the series, but I'm looking for them used, and they get picked out really quickly at the used bookstore because they are such popular series. So I'm keeping an eye out because I want to finish them and I want to be done, but, like, for now I'm stuck with them like this. So the poster will be going back. I just need to show you the shelf under it because the poster also slightly covers it. So after we're done with this shelf, then I'll put the poster back, I promise. So I picked up this Emma and the head popped off, which I don't think it's supposed to do, and it kind of scared me, but yeah, I gotta glue her back together because I'm, like, 99% sure that she's not supposed to do that. This shelf, you'll see, has mainly one series on it, and that is the Keeper of the Lost City books. I love this series. I started reading it in middle school, but it is still currently going. I think 9.5 is out. That's the book Unraveled, and I don't have it. So, like, all of these Keeper of the Lost Cities books you see are not duplicates. Like, every single one is a different book, and I'm even missing one of them. So you are about to watch me, after I dust, struggle to put them back on the shelf because they are not small books. They are gigantic, and I was trying to create some more space because there's still stuff that needs to go on the shelf other than Keeper of the Lost Cities, but it didn't work out. I've also tried to make my friends read the series, like, especially earlier. Hey Cynthia, I did make Cynthia try to read these when there was still only, like, 5 or 6 books out, and she didn't make it. But don't feel bad, because, like, none of my friends that I've tried to have read the series have ever made it through all of them. And yeah, I needed to be over, mainly because, for my sanity, because I've been reading them since middle school, and I graduated college last year. So that's probably 10 years of time that I've been waiting for the end of this series, and it's still not over. And I'm totally fine about it. Also, middle school me would be screaming at me for the fact that I don't have Unraveled, which is book 9.5. And that is because it's from Keith's perspective, and he's, like, literally one of my favorite characters. Like, still to this day. I love him, and I just need him to be okay. So yay, onto the last shelf of the big bookcase. I was so running out of steam. I was fighting for my life. I was not thinking through any of my decisions because you'll see me really soon start to fill this bookcase from the middle, and it was bad. There are also oversized K-pop albums on this shelf because I don't know why, but this bottom shelf is, like, bigger than all the other shelves. So this is where the oversized albums that are not Stray Kids related go. So I did choose to get rid of an NCT album and a 2 Taeyong solo albums that I got for free. Like I said, I got them for free. Someone gave them to me as a gift for volunteering at some school events, and I appreciated it. But, like, oh, and now I'm sneezing. I appreciated it, but, like, I don't have space for them, and I don't collect NCT or really listen to their music, so I'm sure they'll go to someone that, like, will appreciate them with, like, the photo cards. This is a popcorn bucket that I just was, like, not paying attention and put it in the middle of the books. Yeah, I moved it. There we go. Yeah, and I don't know what to say about this shelf, mainly that it just is full of just the random stuff that I can't see, so that's where it goes. I also can't really put that many trinkets on the bottom shelves because Herman, the dog, will try to eat them. So now we are on to the K-pop shelves, and this is the second to worst shelf. If you think this shelf is bad, you can kind of peek to the one below it, and that one is by far the worst one. I have a lot of stuff on this shelf. This shelf is just Stray Kids. So I have my Stray Kids Season's Greetings, my Skizoos, a couple other like Skizoo merches for my bias. I have my light sticks. I have my Pacific collab lotions from them. And then I also have like prints and posters in the back that I got as like for free at Stray Kids concerts, my Stray Kids VIP lanyards, and then also like hanging at the top of where the lanyards are hanging are all my like bracelets that I made for each member. And this shelf is always so dusty because there's no shelf on top of it to keep dust from falling on things. So like my season greetings were so gross. I was, especially because like some of those boxes are white and like I was like, oh my god, they're so bad, they're so filthy. Yeah, you can see me struggling to put them back because I wanted them I was like, oh, I have so many now, I'll just line them up on the side, but like they tilt forward, and I was like, right, this is why I had them against the wall like this, because they tilt. Yeah, I also had a random calendar just thrown into the manga shelf, so I had to put that back. Here's me putting my light sticks back, and then here's me staring at the wall because I was trying to figure out how to put my Skizoos back because I have all 8 of them. I was lucky enough to get them during the first drop. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to put them in their current dorm assignments because I don't want to think about this too hard. So we got Dweki and Jinret together. I put Libet and Hankoku together. We have Foxy Innie and Wolf-chan together. And then Bokari and Puppy M together. I forgot Felix's character's name, and I was like, whoa. I also put their Pacific lotions with them just because like my brain just could not think. I was like, I don't want to even think about a cool way to put these together. I'm just gonna give each of them their lotion and they get to hold it, and like that's what we're going with. Also, they fall over so much. Like, Wolf-chan just falls over, and I always put him on the side right there just because, like, I don't know. That's just where he goes in my brain. And the Wolf-chan falls so much, and I also realized that I put the 2 that fall over the most for me next to each other. Like, Foxy Innie, because of the size of his ears and his head, just, like, will fall. And I was like, great decision. All right, now oh yeah, and I also gave Dweki back his sombrero because my Dweki wears a sombrero, and I almost forgot to put it back on him. But this is by far the worst shelf. This shelf is a absolute disaster. Because for some reason, over the past couple comebacks, I ran out of room, so I just kind of started shoving them at the top because I didn't know where to put them. And I was like, ooh, that's great, because you cannot, see what you have. I was really embarrassed when my sister's friend came over. She doesn't really care about photo cards, and she's like, I don't have 8. And I was like, oh, I'll give you some of my extra 8 albums. And, yeah, I had 6 of one version, which I did not know I had, which was low-key kind of embarrassing. Of course, Libet is about to fall, because Libet, of course, will fall when you have everything in order. Yep. I almost died. It's fine. But overall, I'm pretty happy with my Stray Kids album collection. I have basically one of every Korean release album. I don't collect the Japanese releases, mainly because they're so expensive to get here. Like, one of the regular versions of the albums are like $40, which I did notice for Hollow, they were a little bit better. I think it was $40 for a limited one, which I was like, okay. But yeah, so I have basically one of everything of the Korean releases. I am only missing the limited version for Levanter and for Miro, which I honestly am going to be super lucky if I ever find. I became a stay during Go Live era, so God's Menu, and my first comeback was In Life. I did not actually get limited versions for those comebacks because I didn't really understand how they worked, but I was lucky enough that I had a friend who found some in Italy, and she's like, hey, do you want these? And I was like, yes, oh my god, absolutely. So that's how I got the limited versions for those. And then I found the Yellowwood limited version at a book off, and I was like, oh, you're coming home with me. Yeah, here's me rearranging some of the trinkets. Some things just had to go on top. Like the Maniac Tour ticket thing, it just was too big. You might have seen me trying to put it on the shelf, and it was too tall and like too wide, so it's gonna sit on top until I find something better to do with it. This next shelf down has a bunch of stuff that is not Stray Kids, and that is because this is like my overall just random K-pop album shelf. You'll see I got NMIXX, I got Blackpink, TXT, ATEEZ, and then duplicate Stray Kids albums. And I did choose to get rid of the Blackpink album because I got it for free from a friend when she was moving out of her dorm and like didn't have space for it. And then ATs, I'm not really into ATs anymore. I thought maybe when it's like 3 years ago now, I think, was like, oh, maybe I'll collect ATs, and it just never happened, and I'm okay with that. So I'm giving it to someone who will give it a better home. Oh, there's a LE SSERAFIM album. I did not know I had that. Random. Okay. But yeah, this is my duplicate Stray Kids shelf. Mainly, I have some duplicates because I have I believe I have a signed In Life album, and then I have 2 signed Maxident albums, and then I have 4 signed 8 albums, which is one of the reasons I had 6 of that one design, because literally on the website, I didn't even look what version. I just was like, okay, this one's signed, hit +4, and then that, yeah. So this is my duplicates. Also, you'll see I do have a couple of the Japanese albums, and that is because Jillian was in Japan and I gave her money and she got some of them for me. So that's why I do have some of the Japanese like regular versions. Also, this manga organizer came into great use putting the CDs because they honestly were probably the culprit of being shoved into the shelf the worst, because I was like, I have no idea what to do with these or where to put them. I just know I like them. Yeah, and I think I have all 8 members of 8, and then I have 3 or 4 members of every other comeback, just because like I didn't really collect the CDs, and I was kind of at the mercy of what the K-pop stores had left. So I mainly have copies of IN, Sungmin, and Changbin, just because that seems to be who's left. But it works out because IN and Sungmin are my bias wrecker, and then I love Changbin. Like, Changbin was my bias wrecker when I was still a Felix bias, so it works out. It works. These boxes that I'm putting back right now are my VIP merch and my freebies from concerts. Yeah, I was also choosing whether to show you that bottom shelf, but I actually rearranged it in the video before this. At this point, all I had left to do was put back some of my Spy Family figurines, but yeah, that's basically it. Congratulations if you made it this far. You've made it to the end of the video. Yay! I'd really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. I'm trying to make it to 100 subscribers by the end of the year, and all the people who are subscribed, I love you guys so much. Yeah, but that's basically it. So, okay, bye!